Yes, well, it has been a consistent issue under Ten Hag, hasn't it? This struggle with generating as many goals as they would like, and we can see that with the graphic that we're about to show you here. So this shows us Premier League sides compared since Ten Hag's appointment for goals scored, and Man United, as you can see, not where they'd like to be at all. They're below Brentford, just ahead of Fulham, but a long way from where they want to be. Only 120 goals scored compared to Man City, 204, Arsenal 191, Liverpool 173. These are, of course, the sides Manchester United want to be rivalling, but they are struggling to make up that gap, and goal scoring has been a real issue under Ten Hag.
I mean, 84 goals between these two. It's quite staggering, isn't
Yes,
it?
yeah.
What do we put it down to, do you think?
Well, I think you have to look at the strikers, don't you? And I think finishing has been an issue. It was an issue for Rasmus Højlund last season. It's been an issue for Joshua Zirkzee as well. But I think there is an argument that service is an even bigger problem for Manchester United strikers under Ten Hag. So here we have the shots per 90 stats for Premier League strikers since the start of last season. Now, there are 52 Premier League strikers included in this, and we've ranked them by their shots per 90 minutes. So at the top we see Darwin Núñez, Erling Haaland, John Duran. These are players who have a lot of shots, of course, over 4 per 90 minutes. And Darwin Núñez is a bit of an anomaly because we know he can be an erratic finisher, but generally volume is key with strikers. If you take a lot of shots, you will score a lot of goals. That's the case with Erling Haaland, and we're seeing that with John Duran as well. Now, with Manchester United strikers, they're not getting anywhere close to those numbers. So we see Joshua Zirkzee on 2.28 shots per 90 minutes. He's down in 33rd out of these 52 strikers. Rasmus Højlund and Anthony Martial, who was, of course, playing as a striker as well last season for Manchester United, are way down, even on that. They're 49th and 51st, respectively, for shots per 90 minutes. So this tells us what an issue they have there in terms of generating shots for their strikers. Of course, it's partly down to the striker himself to create these chances, but it is a huge issue of service as well for Manchester United, I think.
Yeah, I mean, also, you've obviously got Joshua Zirkzee has been the man to lead the line. Rasmus Højlund started the season injured. What have you been looking into around, I guess, these two in particular?
Well, I think we've seen similar patterns with both, really. They've both come over from Italy. In Joshua Zirkzee's case, it's Bologna. In this man's case, it's Atlanta. So we see the numbers here. So in terms of touches per 90 minutes and shots per 90 minutes, both numbers are down since Højlund came to Manchester United. He's having fewer touches and fewer shots. So he's less involved generally, and he's having less opportunity to get shots off. So this is a clear problem. You'd expect a player moving from Atlanta to Manchester United to get more shots, you would hope, but that's not been the case for Højlund. And we see something very similar with Zirkzee. If we see the next graphic in a moment, we'll see that his touches and his shots per 90 minutes are similar. You know, so at Bologna last season, he was averaging 49 touches per 90 minutes. He was having close to 3 shots per 90 minutes. He joined Manchester United. The touches have plummeted as well, only 36.6 touches per 90 minutes, and much closer to 2 shots per 90 minutes. So this is an issue we've seen with both strikers. They've come into Manchester United, they've been less involved and less able to get shots off, and that's affecting Manchester United's goal-scoring potential.
Erik, how would you sum up the last 24 hours as far as you're concerned, being in it, being amongst it? What's it been like?
It's like a process, as you do always. And you play a game, and you close the game down. And so you review it very good. You take the assessments out, you set your conclusions, and you take it from there.
You did say after the performance against Tottenham that you needed to understand the defeat, feel that defeat, know why that defeat happened. How do you process that?
It is by watching back the video from the game, and then see where are the problems, and then find the solutions for the problems.
How many times have you watched the game so far?
Oh, one time. And sometimes you scroll a little bit back, and to find more understanding, find a deeper understanding, but only one time. And then I had seen alongside the pitch as well. So I have my view.
And what is your view?
That's it's a bad performance, and I say problems, and I have to address the problems and to give the solutions to the team.
And what kind of problems then do you feel you have to address?
The most important is one you always need: keep the belief. Stay in the game is by keep the belief, and so that's the most important message we have to give. Because if you lose your faith, you lose everything, isn't it? And so we have to keep going, stick to the plan, and move on.
Have the players lost their belief? Confidence is one thing, but belief is something else, isn't it?
Tell me the difference. I think it's, for me, so that person is a little bit similar, and belief and confidence, it has to do with each other. And yeah, you always need your belief. Believe as an individual, believe in your teammate, so believe in your team, and believe in the plan you execute. That is absolutely what you need as a team when you go into a game, but also during a game. You have to keep this always.
Do you feel that the players could take more responsibility in terms of game management? Because once they're on the pitch playing that game, ultimately the responsibility is down to them.
Yeah, but it's a shared responsibility. So that's my job. I have to make them play. So I have to give instructions how they have to play, and when there are problems in the game, then I have to teach them how they sort the problems.
Because you yourself say that it must get better, it has to get better. That wasn't a great performance against Tottenham. So do you make mistakes as well? Do you take responsibility too?
We are there together, and when the players have a bad performance, I'm in the same boat. Then I haven't done my job great because they didn't play as I expected them to do. So yeah, we are there together, and we have to fight together to get out of this.
You talk about time, and you spoke about time after the defeat against Tottenham as well. And the club support you at this moment in time. How much time do you think it will take you and the players, the group, to get things right?
We are, for a longer period, we are in a transition time here at Manchester United. From the moment I came in, we knew we had to change. We had to replace some older players, bring new players in. Our choice was to bring young players in, and you know that takes time. It takes time to get the messages on board, to get a game model on board, to introduce a new culture. That takes all time, but in the meantime you have to win, and I think we have proven the last 2 years we win, and I've proven in my career always I will win. The last 6 years I have 8 trophies, so we have to embed the game model, we have to embed a stronger team as we have now, so we have to work on our problems, give the solutions, and we have a good potential on players, so once it's embedded, we will go and we will drive, and then I'm sure we will achieve the targets we have set for this season.
Could you tell me what those targets are?
That is always winning trophies, as high as possible, of course, in the league as well, because that is definitely a very important purpose for us.
When you talk about the problems that you're in right now and that you're experiencing right now, how big are they to solve and to sort out?
No, nothing is easy, but this is nothing for me to panic about, because I experience it so often with my teams during seasons that you are facing those problems. So we can sort them out. This team can sort this out, and when it's in the individual area, we can sort those problems out.
So you don't panic, and you spoke about you don't fear losing your job as well. Managers just seem to be wired so differently. Management is temporary, isn't it? But it's just how long that period of time is.
I think we are in here, we are in it for a season, and we are going to make a success from this season.
What have the club's ownership and leadership group been saying to you? I know you talk to them regularly. I know they've given you your support as well. But what have they said to you in the last 24 hours? What sort of conversations have they been like? Just is it remain calm and see what happens?
We're talking continually, but we are talking about how we can improve the process.
But that process, fans would demand that process to be improved quickly, wouldn't they?
We are all very impatient, and our fans are, and that is they are entitled to. But we are definitely as well. And we want to win every game, and when we are losing, everyone is disappointed, everyone is frustrated, but there's also our fuel
to get better.
To get better, exactly.
How impatient are you?
Very. And so I hate losing, of course. But also I have to find and to give the solutions to my team. So I have to focus on what has to be better.
What's the team been like today, Monday?
They are very disappointed, and that's normal. But also for my players, I know them. They are resilient, a resilient person, and they will bounce back.
Did you have meetings with them? Has there been a meeting amongst you all to try and thrash out what is going wrong?
Yeah, but we do this after every game, that we sit together, that we give our opinion, and there is a two-way communication from manager, coaches to the players and back, and that we are on one page. And we make sure we are on one page and we stay on one page.
You talk about this one page. Do you truly believe you are all aligned? All together, every single one of you?
Yes, and we have seen this in this group. There's a good spirit, and even after all the setbacks from yesterday, they kept going. If you see that spirit in this team, then you see this is a team. They want to fight for each other. And also you can see the fans, they are disappointed, but they kept with us. And they kept supporting us from the first moment till the last moment. We are in here, also there together.
One thing I wondered about you, with Manchester United, there's always been noise. Always noise. Either it's in the background, or it's really, really loud, and it's really loud right now. But you're the voice and the face that everybody sees. How do you deal with that?
That is, once you are a manager, especially when you are a manager for Manchester United, you know everyone will judge you. And with everyone I see many, and then much more than any other club. Yeah, so you have to deal with criticism, and don't make a big deal from it, and focus on the things where you are appointed to, and that is managing the team. Get the best out of the team, and don't focus on negative opinions on you as a person. And that doesn't help the process. And I'm here to win, so I have to show to my team that I give the direction, and I keep going in that direction we want to go.
That takes a lot of mental strength, though, doesn't it? Because you can hear what's being said, but you don't listen to it. Does that make sense? So you can hear it, but do you listen to it?
Of course, I'm aware of it.
You see it, do you read it?
Oh, sometimes there are very good recommendations, and I take them on board. But most of the times I don't read, because that's too much. When you are a manager in this club, there's too many opinions. I can't take them all and give my judgment of all the opinions are there. It's more important. I have to see where my team is. I have to see in which state they are. And I have, again, I said it now several times, I have to give solutions for the problems who we are facing in this moment.
And those solutions, do you process those on your own, say after a day like Sunday? Do you take yourself off for an hour or two and you just have to be on your own to process what happened?
After every game, You have to to get yourself away from the game for a period. Also, I am also a person. I have also my emotions, because I have to feel the game clinical and get away from the emotions. But once I go some time away from the last game, I go in it and I review it and I set the right conclusions.
Finally, if it doesn't go well this week, these next two games, where will you be? Do you feel you will still be here?
I'm not thinking about it. I'm not anxious as well. We are in here together. We made in the summer togetherness, the ownership, the leadership, this agreement, and we were all behind it. And we knew also what was the strategy with young players in a transition period, and we know then also in which process you can come. This can happen, but also they know in the end, when we are in May, in all my last 6 seasons, always there were trophies, and that is what we are also now aiming for.
Go well this week.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I've only heard Ten Hag raise his voice once, and it was all about asserting control at Manchester United. A 5-hour flight wasn't exactly how Erik Ten Hag would have chosen to prepare for 2 crucial matches with Manchester United this week. Outside the Porto club store, a familiar face looms large: Jose Mourinho. His image is omnipresent in the stadium, revered for his success with the club. In front of the press room, a giant screen captures Mourinho kissing the Champions League trophy, while the museum's entrance is guarded by Porto's glittering trophy cabinet. As United's manager, Ten Hag has often discussed his own ambitions, but the start to his week was less than ideal as the team's plane landed 2 hours and 40 minutes late, a delay that mirrors United's sluggish start to the season. Flight trackers showed United circling over Braga in a holding pattern, waiting for clearance to land due to Porto's rainy, cloudy weather. United are no strangers to arriving late for European matches, having done so in Munich and Copenhagen last year. Like many fans making the trip to Porto, United's players and staff were stuck on the Manchester runway for nearly 2 hours before finally taking off. There was even a brief suggestion that United might skip their pre-match press conference altogether, but UEFA wasn't impressed with that idea. When Ten Hag finally took his seat at 9:06 p.m., over 2 hours late, there was no Diogo Dalot alongside him. Dalot, who was scheduled to appear, had been excused to focus on his pre-game preparations. United's press officer apologised for the delay and thanked the waiting journalists for their patience. Ten Hag's European record at United has taken a hit. After winning 8 of his first 10 European matches, his side has now won just 1 of their last 9. Despite a successful first season, Ten Hag continues to insist that United are in a period of transition as they enter his 3rd season. But why? Because, of course, when I arrived in the first season, we had to replace 6 or 7 senior players, Ten Hag recalled, mentioning Mata, Matic, Pogba, and Lingard. We began a process, but even this summer, we had to replace a few more. We brought in young players like Xerxes and Lena Euro. They need time to adjust to the standards of the Premier League and a club like United. We need to integrate them into our playing model and the demands of this league. As usual, Ten Hag remained composed. No, he didn't need a confidence boost from the powers that be. He was driven, channeling his intensity into turning the team's fortunes around. The only time he raised his voice was when reflecting on the summer overhaul. We made that agreement in the summer. We had the discussions, we reviewed everything, made our decisions, reshaped the squad, and I appointed my assistants. I did that. The emphasis on it was deliberate, a clear attempt to silence the noise surrounding rumours of Ruud van Nistelrooy being a favourite among bookmakers to replace him. But those whispers aren't likely to die down anytime soon. Porto's manager, Vitor Bruno, was brief but genuine in his pre-match comments, refusing to underestimate United. I've heard people say Ten Hag, is coming under pressure, but we're focused on reaching the next stage. It's easy to decode United's team and see who's on the other side. Anyone spinning a different narrative isn't telling the truth. They have their weaknesses, as all teams do, but they were close to beating the best team in the world this season, Manchester City. They also played with 10 men against Tottenham. United's Europa League campaign has taken some strange turns, with a nod to former managers like Carlos Carvalho, who warned Bruno about England's fierce post-match rituals. Bruno, who hasn't met Ten Hag yet, seems intrigued. I don't know him, but I'd love to. A coach who worked in England told me that after a game, they all drink a glass of wine together. If Ten Hag wants, our dressing room is open to him. It's part of life here. In Portugal, if you lose, it's almost like you're dead. Some already think Ten Hag is a dead man walking. After all, Mourinho was sacked by United the same year his contract was extended. The pressure is mounting.